Hey guys, this is Coach Derek, co-host of the Soapboxing Podcast. Man, ever since I found this Anchor app, I tell you, podcasting has become a lot simpler and a lot easier to do. They distribute the podcast over several platforms, and you have to do no work. I tell you, man, if you're interested in doing podcasting, you need to download the Anchor app. That's ANCHOR.FM. You can get started today with the Anchor app and do whatever your heart desires.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Soapboxing Podcast.
Who did you turn professional with?
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Soapboxing Podcast, a very special episode with some of my crew from the Main Street Boxing. Good morning, y'all. Everybody, please introduce yourselves.
Good morning. Good morning. Chris.
Somebody
Hollywood.
And what's your role, Hollywood?
Man. Just being Hollywood.
Hollywood look confused in the business now.
He's like, I show up.
Your name and what your role is at Main Street Boxing.
Who we going with? Me still?
Yeah, we can go with you, Hollywood.
Tell him
And
you
what
the
do you
fucking
know?
glue, Hollywood. Keep this shit
What's
stuck
that?
together. I said you the glue, bro. Keep all this shit stuck together. Tell him.
All right, well, then let me be the glue.
All right, Bobby, let's go with you. Let's start this way.
My name
This
is
way.
Bobby Benton. I'm the janitor at Main Street Boxing Gym. I get to vacuum the gym at 5 a.m. every day and clean up everybody's mess. People leave water bottles. I get to clean that up. So that's my role. And then I fix it too.
They
When
treat
the
you
lights
like
go
a
out,
Hebrew slave, huh?
I put new lights in.
Fix the roof.
Yeah, and the roof.
Oh yeah, he did go on the roof one time, painting from the top.
One
And I was
time.
like, I'm finna go up there and check on him.
It's on the roof every time it rains.
That's it.
Who's next?
Out on.
Aaron Navarro, 490098. I'm the get in where you fit in guy, man, at the boxing gym. You know, whatever we got to do, that's what we do. We're all like that on our. We got a good crew of guys. You know, so everybody, whatever has to be done, everybody steps up and does what needs to be done at that time.
Yeah. So
Throughout the years, D and I and with Jiffy coming along, one of the things that I've always we've always talked about and always come up is how Houston has really become in my eyes like the new mecca for boxing. Like New York was the mecca for basketball, playing in the Madison Square Garden. Like lately, it's in the last couple of years, it's always felt like Houston has become a hub for great boxing. And anytime Houston comes up, Main Street comes up, and it's a special place because fighters from all over the country come and spar with y'all, train with y'all. And so for me personally, it's really an honor to have you guys on the show, especially since we always reference you guys. So I'm excited about the show. I'm glad you guys were able to come on this morning, and I'm glad I was able to make it on because I think it's appropriate at the end of this year have you guys on and talk about all the great accomplishments that you guys have done this year, because it's been a great year for y'all, your fighters, the gym. So welcome to the show, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited
Definitely
about
glad
this
to be
too.
here.
I'm super excited.
D, what's up, bro? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. How's life treating you? Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh shit, man. We pulled Christmas off, man. You know, the wife pulled off a miracle. Everything's copacetic, man. Got my people in here, man. That fucking soapboxing podcast trainer of the year, Bobby Benton, along with other, you know, recognized by other people. But
It
we
ain't
were
me.
about the podcast, man.
It's all of us.
Yeah, man. That's one thing about Main Street, man. It's one I was in there yesterday. I had a little light morning and I dropped in, man. It's a well-oiled machine over there, man. All them guys is great. It's really the atmosphere I think that we have at the gym, Fresh, except you know, bigger. There's more shit going
bigger
on.
scale.
But everybody plays their role. Everybody, there's no. Correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but it don't seem like no egos in the gym. None of that shit, man. Like if Bobby was helping yesterday. Bobby was working with that MMA guy, the big MMA guy,
Derek.
Derek, and him and Bob was working. Him and the MMA guy was working, and Lencho was over here. It's just a great atmosphere, man, for fighters to go, man, and learn and get better, man. And it don't seem like at Maine, nobody's on anybody's toes or none of that stuff. Like I said, I think it's kind of like our gym is a smaller version of what's going over there, you know, at Maine, bro. It just works, man. Everybody's in there working. I think that's the key to their success. Would you say that, Bobby? Everybody's on the same.
It's definitely. There's no egos here. Everybody grinds. There's no, you know. It didn't used to be like that, but now it's everybody works together. We all have we're a team, no matter what it is. Like you said, like Derek Lewis, I got nothing to do with Derek Lewis, but I want to see him win. You know, he's part of our gym, so anything I can help, I'll try to do.
Well, congratulations on the Regis fight. Why don't you tell us a little about that? How leading up to it and how it felt after winning that belt back, 2-time world champion. What was the emotions like and the attitude after that tough loss against Josh Taylor and the journey up to winning the title back? What was the mindset?
Well, it was to me, it was always like it was going to happen. It's just a matter of time, but it took 3 years, for us to get back there because Regis is that guy that nobody wants to fight. Now we got the belt, of course, and still people are still ducking him. Usually when you get the belt, people try to push for you, but you look at Ramirez, he just copped out. They didn't even make an offer, or that was the whole thing with me. Is like, how can you turn down a fight that's never had an offer? Like nobody even offered a fight. There was no money. No,
could have been $20 million. Yeah,
right. It could have been 20 exactly. So on the 65-35 split, you're going to turn down a $20 million fight? No. So they copped him out before the fight could happen, but it's all right. I mean, this whole thing was like, it was a process, and Regis kept a good attitude of until we got back to this spot. He stayed grinding because a lot of guys after they lose, even if it's a bullshit loss like that one, they fold. They go in a hole. They stop working hard. They lose that desire, but he never did.
Yeah. Can we backtrack a little bit and talk about like how each of you were introduced into boxing? Because I don't know these origin stories, and I'm sure the viewers will like to know.
Okay, me? You want me to start?
Yeah, we can start with you.
All right, so I grew up in the gym. My dad was training fighters since I was born. He trained Dwight. Dwight was his first fighter, and we moved to Houston because Dwight fought down here. Dwight defended his NABF belt down here and won. And my dad liked it here, so then we moved here. And he opened the gym, Heights Boxing Club, in 1986. And from then, we've always had a gym. So we had Heights. Main Street is how it started. Was the gym was on Main Street, Main and Elgin. And then we moved to Clay and Shinnerbert and just kept the Main Street. And then now we're at Austin and Pease right now. So that's how. But I grew up in the gym. That's how I got into boxing.
Okay, how was that? So we invited Dwight, but he's training someone right now. So I didn't know Dwight. He's much
I
older
knew
than
he was
you.
a pro, but I didn't know he fought for Bill, bro. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was all the way from the beginning. I just knew he was a pro fighter.
Yeah, and all Dwight's losses, if you go look, every one of them, they were world champions. Juan Laporte, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Wow.
I mean, you go down to Meldrick Taylor. He fought everybody. So just if you look at his record, you'll see, and he was the first one to take Chavez a different distance.
Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
didn't
cool.
know Bill was his trainer and they was working together and all that. I had no clue.
How does it feel to work alongside Dwight, knowing that you've seen him since you were a kid?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, Dwight's good. Everything he does, the basic stuff, he's great. So it's
That's
good.
pretty cool. And Hollywood, how'd you get introduced into boxing?
Martial arts stuff all my life, and then I just went in there actually to work out. Calvin Green is actually the person who took me in there, and that was it. I never left.
Oh, cool. So how did you guys well, that's the next question. Let's go Aaron first. How'd you get introduced into boxing, Aaron?
Oh, as a kid, my grandpa was a fighter back in the 30s and 40s. Have different family members that were boxing, and when we were little kids, me and my cousin, we were always fighting, with each other out in the street, whatever. So I guess my grandpa was smart enough to know, hey man, better get these guys into something, start showing them something. It just kind of went into it like that. That's how I first got introduced into it. Hey, a couple of my brothers box, things like that, so kind of went into it like that and just took off from there. Then, kind of like Chris had never left, 40 something years later, so.
Yeah. So how did you two, Chris and Aaron, end up becoming a part of like the coaching staff at Maine?
Well, they put an ad in the paper. They said they needed two Mexicans, because the balance wasn't right at the, they
had to
were
have a
worried
photo.
about getting fucked with on this. They were like, hey, we got, too many of this, too many of that. So they said we need a couple of last names that work. So, I mean, me and Chris put in applications, and hey, everything worked out.
The rest is history.
Yeah, we had to have a quota.
Something like that. Yeah.
We had a black trainer and a white trainer, and we had to have a couple of Hispanic guys. So.
Yeah, they said, hey man, listen, it's not balancing out. So, we had the last names that work, so everything was good.
I remember when Clinton put that affirmative action in there. So
That's it. Hey, listen.
Bobby was on it. Even back then, he was on it. All right.
Yeah, he's ahead of the game. Yeah, but listen, the gym is Main Street's always ahead of the game, so we just, we were definitely beat everybody on that one.
Absolutely.
Was there would you guys say there was like an aha moment in your life that made you feel like, okay, boxing is my path? Anybody?
Because I didn't know how to read. I couldn't get a real job, so that's when I knew I was going to be stuck doing this, at some point, That being said, all kidding aside, I've known Bobby probably since sometime in the mid 90s. I don't know exactly what year, 95, 96, something, we've known each other for long. Jack too, Jack's not on here, but Jack been a part of our crew, and I mean, we were all at the gym on Clay together, since the 90s, even before any of us really started training. Bobby was probably helping, Pi and his dad and them train guys. But, at that point in the mid 90s, Jack and I still weren't even training guys yet. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, I remember when Jack, came to me and told me that he was, that he was going to start doing that, and I kind of started helping my coach, Walt Haley, who's a OG's from Derek's part of the world, originally from New Orleans, but I mean, he's one of them guys. I mean, I think he had his first fight in 1949 or something crazy like that. So I started helping him, but Bobby and I have known each other, close to 30 years, Bob?
Yeah,
something like that. I mean, it's closer to 30 than it isn't.
You know,
Yeah.
one of the great measures of greatness is time. You know, through time you can see how things last. You know, like
I'm not here.
Consistency.
Yeah, and one of the beautiful things is in relationships as well. You know, it's great to see relationships that endure the years
You gonna
and
catch your man Tuesday.
the experiences.
Enjoy your New
So when
Year,
you
man.
guys have
Appreciate
relationships
it.
like that, it just makes the
Thanks,
whole
it.
experience that much better. When me and Derek first started, even with the gym and even with the podcast, one of the things that we would always say is, you know, we got to be consistent. He would always say we got to be consistent, and he's always been really good at that. And one of the things that I would always say is we just got to last longer than everyone else. You know, that was our objective. You know, we weren't ever trying to do anything overnight. And when you guys talk about 20, 30 years, I mean, it speaks of character and how great that relationship is, because nothing's going to last 30 years, you know, if it doesn't fit.
Yeah. What do you guys have like anything specific that motivates you to get up every morning and train fighters and just keep everything going? Because I know it's difficult.
Winning. I hate to
Yeah.
lose, so that's the biggest thing for me. Is like, and if I'm getting up, everybody else know they got to get up too.
Yeah.
How competitive are you, Bobby?
I'm super competitive.
Really?
Yeah, I hate to lose. I really do. I'm a sore loser.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm.
Even worse than me, I'm a crybaby.
Yeah, that's not a sore loser. You're just a crybaby. I'm gonna tear some shit up if I lose.
Nice.
Were you upset when I lost?
Yeah, of course I was, because I
I
was
couldn't
pissed for
tell.
it.
I had to hold him back. He wanted to go beat up the ref. I mean, the judges.
I know he was
That was
like, what
sad.
the hell? But what keeps you motivated, Hollywood?
I don't, it's a lifestyle for me because I want to get in there and work out also. So it's just part of my day.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like when I'm off of here, I'm gonna get up and go run.
You know, I see so a lot of people make comments about how they like how you guys work out with us. Like when we go run, you guys run with us. Opposed to like other coaches, they don't. I'm sorry if y'all don't do this, Derek and Minnie.
Hey, don't call out D like that, bro.
I don't know if y'all do that, but I know a lot of people make comments that, oh dang, you know, the coaches go run with y'all and train with y'all.
No,
So
look,
I think that's one thing that sets us apart for sure.
Bobby. I mean, I admire everything he's accomplished in boxing, and hopefully I get, you know, I accomplish similar things. But I think he's a competitive professional, and like he told me, Bobby fucking look at these guys, and now they double team. Bobby's part of the reason. I think when he said, you know, he's competitive. We fought in I forget where we fought, and I was I was 270, and I walked in there, and that motherfucker was like, "D, come on, bro," you know, and he didn't antagonize me or nothing, but it worked. I was like, "Oh shit, come on, bro, you done got so fucking big," and I'm not where I want to be now, but I'm down to like 229, and I remember Bobby telling me we was B, and you was like, he was being honest, like, "Come on, D, bro," and fuck it, I had to fucking start walking and losing weight and eating right and shit because it's the truth, you know. And when I see him out there running with the guys, and Aaron don't miss running, if I'm with him too, he's running every morning and shit. So them boys live it, man. Them boys is real boxing people, man. And I appreciate them too, watching them, because it motivates me. I had to lose some weight, man, because I was getting too fucking big. Blood pressure, the whole 9 yards, man. And getting active with my own kids, you know, we got a ranked fighter now, and, you know, he got a minor title and shit, you know, so I'm working harder now too. You know, we got to be ready, man, because at this level, and I'm sure Bobby and Aaron and all that attest to this. At this level, man, every fight counts, man. if I was sitting there, I said, a lot of athletes, they competing in certain world, but boxers, they compete with the world, man. We're literally trying to be better than everybody in the fucking world, man. And so you gotta be sharp, and you can't, and that's why champions, that's why Regis progrades are so few and far between. Not that people becoming world champions, people becoming world champions, having adversity like the Taylor fight and shit, and if y'all agree with me, Regis kind of got better. Like, he dominated ever since that fight, knocking people out, and he's hungrier than ever, and I think it kind of showed in that fight recently, because man, Regis kind of just said, fuck it, I'm gonna beat this dude up, man. I'm coming to beat this dude up. And so at this level, man, you got to be in shape, you got to be sharp, and as trainers, we can't afford to be part of your physical health is your mental health too. It helps you stay sharp. It helps you be on note, making sure everything's going right, making sure all these sharks out here for your kid. And that's another thing people don't understand, the business of boxing outside of the ring. Everybody's trying to either fuck over him or get next to him. As trainers, we just handlers. That's all. We more than just teaching people how to throw punches. So yeah, man, Bobby and them be getting it in, man. I'm telling y'all, they'll work a fine-tuned machine over there, man, including working out and everything.
I think also too, what it does for the boxer is it takes the staff like more seriously, because it's like, oh, okay, like they're really in this. Because I mean, I've had a few coaches that are out of shape and can't really do what they're telling me to do, and you don't really respect them as much. But when you have like your coaches running with you and working out with you, it makes me feel like, oh, okay, well, I guess I can do it too.
I guess.
And Bobby, I'm sure all those things are great byproducts of you doing that. But if you're like me, I think we just do it because we want to stay alive longer.
Yeah, so I'm trying to kill myself every day. Yeah, that's how I was telling people. I'm trying to kill myself. I'm pushing myself till I can't. And ain't nobody tougher on me than me. Like, my inner voice is like, I'll call myself all kind of bad stuff.
Yeah.
There's nobody can say some stuff to me that I ain't said to myself.
Yeah. But we keep going.
That's it.
We keep
Is that
going.
a motivator or?
Oh yeah, for me it is, because I'm like, anytime, because there's days when I don't feel like getting out of bed, but I'm like, I can't say it on this thing, but I'll be like,
get your ass up.
You soft ass, yeah.
It's parameters, B. It's because you set parameters and laws that you abide by, and if you breaking them. Nah, fuck that, man. I got to get up. I know what you're talking about, that inner voice. I be talking to me crazy too.
Yes.
Do you guys let's see, what do you believe is your biggest accomplishment in boxing? We'll start with Hollywood.
Biggest accomplishment? I mean, getting to work with world champions. There's been, a few over the years.
Yeah.
And
you primarily do strength and conditioning, any like motivational things, like what, tell the people what you do with the fighters.
I mean, you do a little bit of everything. I mean, strength and conditioning mainly, but I mean, I'm in there when they're boxing and helping coach them also.
I've seen you throw punches. We've worked together before too.
Yeah, we have.
How long have you been working with Bobby, Hollywood?
Oh man, I don't know. Bob was about 17, 18 years.
Yeah, something like that.
So with strength and conditioning, and how long did it take to find that sweet spot? Because with strength and conditioning, there is such a thing as overworking a fighter.
Correct.
How was it finding that balance between y'all two? Is there ever any issue? Is it, Bobby? Have you ever said, "Hey, he's got to slow down a bit, or he needs to pick it up"? How does that work between y'all?
Bobby, he was asking you that.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Or even you, Hollywood. How does that communication? Do y'all are there those talks, or are you guys so in tune that you know already where you're at?
We're so in tune or whatever, because I'm in the gym every day or whatever. I see these guys, training or whatever, and then I'm able to adjust to whatever's going on with them.
Yeah, I
Holly
can
was always
attest
like,
to.
we don't have to ask, or he's there with us, and he sees, like, there's times you'll see a guy's tired, and most guys won't even know. If they're not in the gym, they're not gonna know. But Hollywood's there, so he sees it. Like, he'll send guys home, like, "Hey, go home today. We're not doing it. We'll do something tomorrow." Or that's the good thing about the good strength and conditioning coaches. Like, either they're there or they'll call. Like, Jack will call me and ask me, "What did Mikey do?" or what, just to see what they did, because then if they know, oh, he did too much today, I'm gonna change it up, or I'm gonna do something different. But a lot of strength and conditioning coaches, like especially the new ones, they're so caught up in like trying to kill the fighter that the next day they come to the gym, the guy's shot, he's done. So what do? We can't box now because you don't wore him out, you don't push him too hard, like you were saying, man. You can definitely overdo this stuff.
I saw something. I think it was Andre Ward. I saw him, and it might have been an old clip, but he was in a boxing gym, and he was telling the fighters, he's like, if you're not in here doing the work, or rather, he was saying, if the coach has to be chasing you to do the work, whether it's road work, whether it's conditioning, whether it's cardio, there's a problem. He goes, the coaches should be in the gym watching out for y'all when you're overdoing it, and sending you home and be like, hey, you're doing too much today. Go home. Let your body rest. He goes, that's where you want to be, as opposed to, having a coach asking you if you did
run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do this? Did you do that? No, that's it. So there's no, it's definitely that. I do a lot more telling guys take off today than I do, come on, man, let's go.
Nice. Nice. And that's the culture over there.
Yes.
Nice. What's going on, Mr. Lencho? Welcome to
hey,
the show, sir.
Hey, I finally got on. Space age technology, man. I'm behind the times.
So we're just the question that's going around is, what is your biggest accomplishment in boxing? We started with Hollywood. We can go with Aaron.
Man, that's a tough one. I still feel like I'm still trying to get it. There's still so much that I feel like I got left to do. I've been able to do a lot of great things, with the great team here. I will say this, 25 years or so ago, when I decided to start, helping Walt train fighters, I set some goals for myself, some short-term ones, some long-term ones. And, I've been blessed enough to hit all those goals that I originally started. But that being said, I don't feel like I'm done by a long shot. I got a lot more that I want to do in this game. Man, I've been, like I said, lucky enough to work around so many great people in this game and with so many great fighters. It's hard to really pin down one for me, over
Can you
all these
name
years.
some of your
But
achievements?
it's been a great ride for me, and I've definitely done a lot more than I would have ever imagined whenever I started this out, back in the day.
Can you name like some of your achievements, just so people would know like what you've done, who you've worked with?
For one, like being part of the team here, obviously, the riding up with Regis. I mean, with Shock that we got. I'd known Shock probably since he was about 9 years old, and then I got involved with him, a little bit later when he was in the amateurs, and he's the number one guy in the world, getting ready to fight for the world title here in a 5 or 6 weeks. I mean that's been an incredible thing. Starting out with Miguel I've known Miguel since he was probably 4 years old or so. And then, started working with him and I, whenever he was 8 years old, then to ride with him up to where he fought, Santa Cruz for the world title, in Vegas was another great moment. When Tiffany Juno, when we went out on what was supposed to be the B side and fought Mia St. John for the WBC world title and beat her out in Cali in her backyard, and we took it on a pretty short notice. That was a nice that was a nice moment as a trainer and to see her get what she had worked so hard for, because all these fighters that I mentioned to are just like Dag and Bob, everybody was saying, they're the dogs. I mean, when you see what the fighters that get to that level, when all of us, behind the scenes, when you see what these kids put in and what they sacrifice and the discipline they have and just everything to be, we've all seen everybody here and probably anybody that's listening knows we've all seen, kids over the years that have, tremendous amount of talent, tremendous amount of ability. And when you look at them, when your kids and say, this fucking kid should be a world champion, he should be a lock. And then they don't, it's not the talent, there's all these fighters that I just got through speaking have tremendous amount of talent, but they also have other things. And that's what makes them different, makes them, get to that level. They have that dog in them. They have the ability to not get what they want right then so they can get what they really want later. Just a combination of things, that and it really a testament to them and what they're able to do. As much as we can do as a team, there's nobody that really sacrifices more and takes more of it and goes through more than the fighter themselves. And so, for those kids to make it all the way to that level, I don't think people outside the game really know, what listen, even getting to a world title fight, like Derek said earlier, the business end of this shit is unreal. It's we could go on for hours just about that. How a guy can be number one in the world and literally not get a shot, or like that, even like with Reed. Yeah, Reed won the WBC for the second time, and we still don't. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to fight or who we're going to fight, things like that. So just for a fighter to get to a world title fight in this game, a real one, it's almost impossible. It's a perfect storm of a whole lot of shit, man, and just all together you have to deal with. So even to make it to that fight, that's why when there's a lot of time when you hear these guys and they start dogging on kids and get to a world title fight, maybe it doesn't go their way or whatever. You guys got no idea what they're talking about. For a kid in this game, and like Derek said earlier too, this is a world sport. We're truly, when we're in boxing, we're competing to be the best in the world. It's not one country or one area, whatever. If you look down most of these guys' records, that get to that level, their last 8-10 guys probably from all over different parts of the world, different parts of the country. So just to get to a world title fight alone is almost impossible task for a fighter to get to in this game.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we celebrate when we say, two-time or three-time world champion. It's one thing getting there once, but having the ability to get back to it and win it again, it just makes it that much special.
Yeah.
Correct. And like I said with Regis, there's as an example, like you say, he definitely improved, and I think that's what guys like that, that's what they, they do. They For one, we should never sit back on all that really happens anyways. When we get world titles, the title or the target on the guy's back just gets that much bigger, right? I mean, then you're really that guy who don't want to be the guy right now to beat Regis or to beat Haney or to beat Shakur or to beat Crawford or beat Spence, whoever the guy is. When you become that top guy, you have to work that much harder just to keep your spot. Now you have everybody gunning after you.
100%.
Lincho. Hey, Lincho. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. So the question that we're asking now, well, we went through a couple of questions about how did you get introduced into boxing? What's your role at Main Street? And we can start there with you.
Well, at Maine, I'm the oldest rookie there, so everybody has a, and I love that role. I'm the oldest rookie in there. All the other guys have been there quite a while, so yeah, that's got started with boxing. Actually, it was with my job at first. Through like I said, we went through a patrol academy, and this was in the '80s. And our training was we had a box, and so that was to keep our job. And but then years later, the state passed a law where us as the profession I was in had to get promotions and pay raises. We had to pass a agility test. And so anyway, I got in a boxing gym in Conroe and under James Reyna, and that's where I started, about 18 years ago. And then from there, I met Aaron, and then I started with Aaron, working, learning the game from Aaron, and Bobby and everybody,
All right. We still listening.
Yeah.
Keep talking. Don't be scared, Lynch.
Hey, but yeah, that's how I got into it, and just learning the game from these guys, and I've been blessed, and it's you're learning every day. That's the way I look at it. You're learning every day from regardless. You get around a good group of guys, and that feeds off, and it's a great experience it's a great wave that I'm riding in my second career. I'm already retired from another job, but this is to me another wave that I'm riding, till I can, with how long I can ride it.
Yeah. So, and you drive quite a while to get to the gym every morning.
Yeah, about 70 miles one way.
Oh wow!
Wow. What keeps you motivated to go to the gym every day?
His wife kicks him out every day.
Well, my wife, it's she wants me to, get out there and it's but anyway, it's my wife's the foundation that holds me and pushes me, and it motivates me to see everybody excel. Everybody in the gym, that everybody excel. That's what I want to see. I want to see the guys, from the boxers to move up the ranks and get some titles, and also the trainers. That's what I want to see.
What are some of the accomplishments that you're proud of, or what do you think is like your biggest accomplishment in boxing so far?
I'm still learning, man. That's the accomplishment. I'm still learning from these guys, from everybody, that I want to learn. It's I'm still learning, and that's maybe when I, end up finishing this ride, then that'll be the accomplishment that I made it through. That's what I'm looking forward to. But, I'm learning every day. That's the way I see it.
Well, I know we definitely appreciate, like, Lencho's always in the gym. Like, let me take a picture. He's capturing moments that no one else gets. Or I like that. Also, too, you work cuts or you work the corner. You wrap hands for different fighters and different shows. Like,
well, when
right?
I do that, it's when if Aaron, if Aaron doesn't go, then I do that. But that's what I've learned. That's I learned that skill from Aaron and Bobby, you know, and that's what I've learned.
Okay. Good morning, D Style Boxing. So Bobby, what's your biggest accomplishment?
To me, it's all of it. You know, like starting and like from the start point to starting training amateur kids to this point. You know, having world champions is like, and then the gym. The gym's a big accomplishment to me. Is like the gym now is like it's badass, but it's been like that since I was a kid. But like even more so now because they're kind of like all these champions are ours. You know, back in the day, there was like there's been over 50 world champions in the gym, but it was like Klitschko's, Rockman. You know, I can go down Canizales. Like those guys they trained in our gym, but they weren't like a product of us. You know, so now it's all from that experience. It's all of us. You know, we've all together have built this thing.
Hey, I could see in about 30 years, right? When we talk, when the next couple generations start talking about Houston boxing, and you guys are definitely going to be named and talked about just from the grassroots level here in Houston. When they make that movie, Bobby, who's going to play you? Aaron, who's going to play you? Hollywood, who's going to play you? And Lincho, who's going to play you?
I hope Wahlberg plays me. He'll make me look good.
I can see that. I can see that for sure.
That works.
Yeah.
I'll say Danny Trejo.
That's right.
Dang, that's Danny Trejo.
Hollywood, who's playing your part?
Man, I have no clue.
Hollywood's gonna play Hollywood.
Hollywood's gonna
right.
Linko, who's gonna play you, huh? Who's gonna play your character?
I don't know. It'll be like a still blurry picture of me, and then just a flash, just go by and with just the name and no last name. That's what it'll be.
Main Street has built quite a reputation for itself. Have you guys ever heard like anything about Main Street that you were like, what? Like that's not true? Or and what are some of the things that you've heard about the gym?
We don't get caught up in that. Like,
oh, you don't?
People are gonna talk shit, and it don't matter. We just move on, do our thing.
Love it.
That's one of the things that that like sometimes when people come to the gym, they'll tell me, hey, it's not messy over here. And I'm like, nah, we just mind our business. People, because we experience a lot I can tell you like some of the things that I've experienced at other gyms, like coaches are always trying to take other fighters, or they're like stepping in and they're overstepping boundaries and just talking shit about each other. And we don't really experience that at Maine. Like you guys are glued. Like there's nothing that you say behind each other's back that you wouldn't say to their face. Like and you guys don't ever talk down about anybody, or like I don't experience any of that. That's one of my favorite things.
I think things like that start from the top. And so when you have people in place that already understand what the focus is and what the goals are, people like Derek likes to say, the people weed themselves out. And that's one of the things that, when Derek and I first started was, we're not going to let anyone in that doesn't fit with our culture. And we've been quick to kindly ask people to take their services to other locations, and because we have one mission, we have one goal, and that's to build fighters, manage them, and go as far as we can with this thing. So that speaks volumes of the leadership of that of any gym or any business or any organization that doesn't allow that kind of stuff. And you don't even have to advertise it. It's just it comes with your character. It comes with how with the mindset that you come in with, and people will automatically know, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to get away with that bullshit over here. They don't move like that. But if they look at the leader and they're like, oh, they just let anything fucking get by, well then, okay, they gonna see how far they can take it.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times where like if someone's sparring and I've seen like people spar and there's like a girlfriend in the side and Bobby's like, hey, be quiet. If the girlfriend is like overstepping boundaries or say like if somebody comes in the gym and they're recording and it's like a title fight, or like when Regis was sparring recently, somebody pulled out a camera and Bobby was like, hey, no, there's always boundaries that people know what's allowed and what's not, because we're just not going to let things fly.
Well, hey Manny, what you said, the way you and Derek do it, that's 100% correct. And you have to, the way you do anything is the way you do everything, right? And so you have to run a program tight and keep the right circle of people, or else it's just you're not. Here we're results based. It's like everybody here said the same thing from our gym. It's not about any one of us. For one, one of the many lessons my coach Walt taught me when I decided to start helping them train guys was that it's always about the fighter and not about us. But we're results based here, and we all know, hey, listen, if we get the result that we want, then it's all good. It's like we're putting in this work, and the fighters are winning and performing the way we want them to. Then that's all that really matters at the end. That's why we're here, and and that's what it's supposed to be about. I know. Every guy on here that works with us, we've had times, me, Bob, Hollywood, Lynch, we've won huge fights. We're all back in this gym in the next morning, and Bob and I have literally flown in on the red eye and came straight from the airport to the gym after fights, and that's the way it's, like you put it correctly. It starts from the top. You're gonna, real leaders are gonna lead from the front. You're gonna lead by doing shit and showing up, and then by example. But also, the program's only as good as what you allow to happen in it. And that's the only reason that it means something. So, like Jeff said, all those little things, they all add up into the way, into what your end product is. And so if it doesn't run like that, and like I said, that's why we have a small group of guys here. As far as for the size of the program of the number of fighters we have, we don't have a lot of trainers. We keep a small circle of guys, with the exception of Jack, who's not on here, but that's about it for us. But it's also worked that long because everybody, we don't have, like I said, don't have a lot of people stepping on each other's feet or a lot of competition, we're not letting the egos get in the way of what needs to be done here, and that's why the team works. If I had a promoter that's been around for a long time, was in here, I don't know, it's probably 4 or 5 years ago, but he was sitting here, watching some guys, and then at some point he told me, hey, Aaron, he said, how long have you and Bob and Jack, everybody been working together? I said, oh, I don't know, at least a good 20 years or so. And he told me, he said, man, that's very rare that you find that in boxing. He said, especially when you get to the level where you guys have fighters at a level that, you guys are working with it. Normally at that point, sometime, there's going to be some kind of real falling out between guys or like Jeff said, guys make moves on people's fighters or, whatever the case may be.
How many fighters do you guys have in total?
I would say around 25 right now. In the gym that are pretty active, and then we all have different guys we work with outside the gym. I do a lot of cut work, stuff like that for other managers, promoters, things like that. So does Bob. Hollywood's got. We all have other people, but I would say in our gym right now, probably about 20 to 25 active fighters that we work with.
Is there anybody, and we can ask everybody this question, is there anybody that you guys don't work with that you would like to?
Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, that's two of the fighters that I'm they've been on my list for a long time, and if they're listening, I'm definitely trying to get them over here to work with us. Not as a
J-Lo,
personal
you got
thing, but just as, you know, just because I think they have a lot of potential.
Jennifer Lopez, you got an open invitation over there to Main Street Boxing, baby.
100.
One-on-one sessions.
Yeah, Shakira also, you know. So,
Don't
but
forget
listen, no, all kidding aside, you know, we're real lucky here too that we work with all the what I call the big homies. You know, we've got guys with Matchroom, guys with Top Brand, guys with PBC, you know, and a lot of the, you know, major promoters, a lot of good managers, and then also a lot of other, you know, promoters that we work with. So, you know, we've got a pretty good network, you know, been built over a lot of years. You know, allows us to get a lot of work, but you know, we're always any real fighter and a kid that really wants to do it, we're always open to working with. You know, they don't have to be that. Hey, is it nice to have these top 10 guys or world champions coming? We just got a fighter that came down from France with us. It's an excellent fighter that we're, you know, looking forward to working with, things like that. But if there's a kid that really wants to fight and really shows that, you know, that he wants to do it, then, you know, we're always willing to, you know, to work with those guys. You know, we like that just as much as anything else.
Yeah. Is there a certain type of people that that you guys won't work with, or like a certain type of like characteristics or personality?
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course. If you got like a big ego and you ain't gonna listen, like if you're not coachable, I'm not doing it. I don't care if you're 2-time world champion. I can't do it. I'm just, you know, I'd rather be broke than have to do that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Bobby. Hey, can you take me on? But here's the thing, though. I can only work out from like 3 to 4. I can only run about a half a mile every other week. I need a basket of fruit when I walk into the gym, and my post-workout shake when I leave.
Gotcha. Hey, gotcha. You're in.
Hey man, unless it's J-Lo, and then we're gonna go ahead and make those you know, we can make those things happen.
Those accommodations.
Yep.
Hollywood, what about you? Is there a certain?
We got Lencho in the gym. He's the enforcer.
He is. He's like, do 50 push-ups or get out. Like,
He brings a stick and everything.
yeah, Lyncho's an asshole.
Like, what I do?
He knows it. He wears a shirt and says he's an asshole.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Hey, I'm about to cut out here. I gotta go run shock right now. So,
hey guys, I'm gonna jump back on when I'm gonna get in the car, and I'll jump back on can I jump back on?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go out and get in the car, and I'll jump back on and get back on here.
Sounds
all right,
good.
cool. Thank you, Bobby.
I'll write down Bobby's answers and I'll tell them to you guys.
Aaron or Hollywood can answer my questions.
Well, appreciate you coming on, Bobby. Everyone, Bobby's got to go run 7 miles with Shock. So
thank you guys. Love you guys.
And Shock has a title fight on February 11th for the WBC against Ray Vargas.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
Happy New Year, Bobby.
Bye.
Happy New Year, Bobby.
And so, Hollywood, is there a certain personality or characteristic of a boxer or an athlete that you won't work with?
No, not really. I mean, as long as I'll put in the work, I'm cool with it.
So you're okay with like complainers, or like you just deal with anything, you just adjust?
Well, I just don't listen to it, you know. We're either going to do the work or we're not going to do it, you know. So I mean, you can complain and bitch all you want. I'm just, you know, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. I mean,
that's pretty cool.
Jiffy, I had to work with you. What do you mean?
I'm not a complainer at all.
Oh man.
What about you, Lencho? Is there certain people that you're just like this is off limits, I'm not working with them?
Well, you know, it's you know, they don't want to put in the work, you know, and then they get in the ring and fight, and then they can't go the distance, you know, it's on them, you know. But it's difficult to work with someone like that. You want the guys that are gonna, put in the work. That's what I would like to see. But every individual's different.
Yeah. What about y'all, Derek, Manny?
What I shit, man, do I just work with anybody?
Oh man, you gotta pass all kind of litmus tests.
Yeah, I ain't finna do it, man. I ain't listen, man. I won't train Italians. I won't train the answer is for me. I'm not looking for athleticism or none of that. I'm looking for what the guy said. Work and will. People that's gonna, because I really feel like what I do is a science for real, not the catchphrase. And I think that I could teach it to anybody to fit them, their natural physical attributes, right? And teach them how to fist fight the best that they can. And that requires so much work, man, especially if somebody like two left feet. You know what I'm saying? Especially but two left feet guys can be world champions, right? Because it's really a science. It's really a science. Think about all the great rhythmic fighters, who had dynamic rhythm and movement and speed and shit. And then think all the for every one of them, there's a Mickey Ward, a Turo Gotti, somebody who goes, think of the plethora of Mexican champions through the legacy of Mexican fighting. Who there was only one Chavez and Canelo and what's my man who died in the car crash, and
Salvador Sanchez.
But Salvador Sanchez. But look at how many world champions there is out of Mexico that didn't have that. You didn't see they had nothing special. I'm telling you, they probably worked the hardest. They probably was driven, farther than anybody, and they was gonna fight, and they was determined, man. So I'm real. Fresh done been with me several years now, and he probably got a list of people that I told no, that I ain't gonna train you, man. And it's not, and it's not nothing even personal. Like, why would I train a kid that comes to me from Bobby, right? I would say, hey, do you know who that dude is, man? You got a world champion in your stable and shit. Maybe you need to quit thinking it's everybody but you. Maybe it's you. Maybe you need to do what the fuck they telling you to do. So why would I welcome that? Why would I welcome that hassle and that problem? Fresh has also seen me give people a shot, and I run them off after 4 or 5 months too. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, it ain't working, bro. And it is, and I don't do it out of ego. And I know people confuse that because I done heard the backbiting and shit. But it's not about ego. It's about experience, and I know that it's not gonna work. So
foresight.
Yeah, while you daydreaming saying you just needed a trainer, no, you needed to be trainable, like Bobby said. So I won't just train anybody, but Hollywood won't either, because what he just said was exactly what I said. If they're gonna do the work, he's gonna do it. If they're not gonna do the work, he just did the short form. I went on a fucking tangent.
Correct.
But it's the same. It's the same, right? Now, what has taught Hollywood that? I'm sure when Hollywood went from fighter to coach, he was looking at the very beginning. Oh, this kid this kid's fast, man. Let me fuck with him. And then experience taught him that shit don't mean shit at the end of the day. He don't show up to the training. He don't do the work. He won't do. So anybody could whoop a bum. Anybody can get in there and shine when you don't have anything to overcome. Anybody can get in there and look like Ray Robinson against Glass Joe. Anybody can do that shit. That's so I'm very particular. Very, very particular.
Hollywood, what is a day? What does a normal day throughout the week look for you?
I'm only in the gym in the mornings, so I usually get there. I got regular clients also or whatever, so I'll get there in the morning. 7:30 or whatever. I'll train a few clients or whatever, and then we start with the guys at 9:00. And so I'll be in there. I'll work out with them 9, 10 o'clock, hitting the bags, doing all the stuff or whatever. And then after that, I'll take them downstairs and we'll do some strength work.
And when do you get your workout in? What do your workouts look like? Or do you work out with your clients?
I work out with the guys. I box with them every morning.
Oh, okay.
I'm in there hitting the bags and moving around. And then after that we'll go downstairs and get some strength work. I got a lot of different guys or whatever. Some guys I go to a different gym, train with them. Like when I train with Shock, we come back in the evening, train in the evening. So I got a little bit of that too. But for the most part, I'm only there from about 7 in the morning to 11 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's nice. Mr. Lyncho, what's your day look like during the week?
Well, during the week, usually I get there about either 8:30, and then, or if not, 7:30, and get my workout, walking, my cardio, and then start with the guys helping out, with whatever they need, and then usually after the sparring around noon, 12:31, that's when we're done. And that's it. That's it. I come back up home and do more workout up here. That's about it. And
nice.
So it's so I start I get up about 4 in the morning, and
make that long drive.
Yeah.
That is a insanely long drive. I used to live in Spring, and I was like, I can't. That's so far. Now I live like 8 minutes away from the gym, and I can't make it on time.
Yeah, just hitting the traffic just right. There's no accident. That's not bad. But if there is, then it takes a while.
I have a question about what is the craziest thing that you guys have seen in boxing? Like, I want answers from everybody. I want the craziest thing you guys have ever seen.
Oh shit!
One morning at Main Street, we had a guy that was supposed to spar, and I pulled up in the parking lot, and I see him run into his car. He's still got his gloves on. He's fully dressed to spar, and he jumps in his car, man, and takes off.
Oh shit!
Out of the parking lot, man. He's still got all this stuff on, and I'm like, I come in, I go upstairs, and I see Bobby and them. They're looking for this guy to spar. They said he went to the restroom. I said, what? I said, man, I just seen him take off. He went in the restroom. He jumped out the window.
Climbed out the window. Yep. Yeah, he climbed out, jumped out the window, climbed down the wall. Yep.
Second floor.
The window upstairs?
Jumped out the window.
100%. Yeah.
Got to his car and took off.
Who was he supposed to spar?
It didn't matter, man.
I can't even remember. He was like that. And the funny thing with the kid is that, right? Remember, he wasn't a bad fight. Like, he had good jab. That, like, if you watch him in the ring, you'd be like, okay, this kid's okay. But he just, he was, he climbed out the window, climbed down the side of the wall with all his shit on, and went to his car and fucking took off. 100% correct. Yep.
If you seen this guy hit the pads, hit the bags, you would think he's.
They had a good jab, remember, and he was built good. I mean, he looked like a fighter,
Big
dude,
man,
capable.
200 pounds. I mean, like.
Yep. Good sized kid.
And
occur.
But man,
so he left all his stuff at the gym.
But you tell him he's gonna get in the ring, man. And this guy, I mean, it was just something mental with him. I mean, he was scary.
I'm picturing a dude, Hollywood. I'm picturing a dude with gloves on with a steering wheel driving out from the gym. That's fucking hilarious. Man.
Yeah, he took off. I mean, I don't know how he got him off or whatever, but they was off.
Oh my God!
He literally climbed down the wall. Yep.
Getting the hell out.
And I've seen another guy. I've seen another guy do something similar, and I won't mention him by name on here, but I pulled into the old when Savannah Jim was over on Ashcroft, and I was pulling him one afternoon to go, because we had some couple of guys that I was going to watch sparring over there, and I seen a kid pull out in his car driving down the street, and I kind of waved there, and he had his headgear on. But I saw him and I said, hey, these fucking kids are crazy anyway. So it's not the weirdest thing we ever saw in boxing. So when I got in the gym, at some point I was talking to people, and then they said, hey man, have you seen so-and-so? And I said, well, shit, I just seen him driving off. He had his headgear on. They said, man, he was supposed to spar with Chocolate. And if you've been around this game a long time, there was a guy, his real name is Greg Pickram, but they called him Chocolate. And back in the 90s, when we were at the old gym on Clay, he was probably the best gym fighter that I've ever seen, hands down. I mean, I've seen him put,
he's working everybody.
I've seen him give Holyfield, David Tua, Rodman, Klitschko. I mean, I won't get into the details, but anyway, he was a beast. And he would just give these guys hell in the gym. He was a tremendous gym, and then get in a fight with an opponent and have like a life or death fight or fuck around and lose. But when he was in the gym, he was a killer, and everybody knew it. He lives out in Vegas now. He's a good guy, but this was the guy that this particular fighter that I'm talking about was supposed to spar with that day. And I think he knew the reputation, or else somebody told him, man, and he just decided, hey, man, I'm out of here. But he even take the time to take his headgear off. When I seen him driving off his Cadillac, he still had his headgear on.
He said, not today. Not today.
Yeah, not today, Chocolate. I'm not getting my ass drilled in this gym, but I mean, boxing's so crazy. I'd have to think on that one what the craziest thing that I've seen is, but I mean, definitely like Chris, that's definitely one of them, because you see so much shit around this game that you think every time that there's no way to see it all, because these crazy kids they'll come up with something new. That every time if you thought you saw it all, they'll prove you wrong anyway.
Yeah, that's crazy. What about, have anybody else seen anything crazy or out of the ordinary?
Aaron, where were we when that kid ran across the ring, man? The other guy stepped out, man. It was a fight. It was a fight night.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And he actually climbed out at it when he he even proved me wrong, because normally when our guys will tell us, hey coach, when I'm fighting, and I always say, son, you're fighting when you're in the ring with your gloves on. And normally by the time you get in the ring with your gloves on, that's the case. Because we all know here that a fight can fall out up into the closest moment. But normally if you're in the ring with your gloves on, it's happening, but not in this case that Chris is talking about.
Yeah, he climbed out.
Yeah, the closest one that I've had that happened to that is that, this was many years ago, and Miguel's brother Benjamin, Walt and I took him up to New Haven, Connecticut. We're fighting on Showbox with a co-main event, and at that time Benjamin was 14-0, and we were fighting this guy they called Azuquita. He's a 14-0 kid from Puerto Rico, and they were the co-main event on Showbox. We flew up to New Haven, Connecticut, like on a Monday or Tuesday, because Showbox on Friday. We did the whole week, media, press conference, workouts, weigh-ins went good, everything. So that Friday night, we're in the arena, fights start, everything else. We're in the dressing rooms. I got Benji's right hand wrapped up, and I'm starting on his left hand, and the commission comes in. They said, hey, Flores. I said, we're over here. And he comes over here and goes, you guys fight off. I said, all right, man, we'll be ready in a little bit. I thought he was fucking with me. He goes, no, I'm serious, Aaron. And I said, what? I said, what do you mean? I said, man, we're supposed to fight in like an hour. He goes, the doctor saw something in the other kid's MRI that he didn't like right now, and he pulled the plug on the fight. And that we were literally an hour away from, 2 months of camp, up there for a week, about an hour away from, being the co-main event on Showbox. It can happen. Fights can fall out literally almost to the last minute. But like Chris said, usually once you're in the ring with your gloves on, you're usually good, but even then it can happen, So, it's I can remember another one too at the Golden Gloves here in Houston. And Walt, my coach and Walt had a kid, Guadalupe Martinez, who ended up being a really good pro fighter, but he was fighting in the gloves. And he was fighting a kid from somewhere else, and he dropped this kid, and the kid got it. Anyway, the kid was, you could tell the other kid was in trouble. And so he got dropped the second time, and the ref, Ricky Webb, was giving him, who used to fight as well, was giving him a 8 count. And when he went to go back, I guess the kid knew he was about to get knocked out, so he did like a flying karate kick at our kid, you know, and our kid kind of rolled the shot. And then when Ricky Webb went to grab him, this kid swung at Ricky. Well, Ricky used to fight, so he made him miss. Then he pieced the kid up. So then all that kid's corner ran into the ring. So we ran into the ring. It was a bunch of crazy, you know. So
I remember Ricky was out here beating people up.
Yeah, so I mean, well, you know, Rick, he used to fight, and he had a bunch of fights, man. And so when this kid took a swing at him, you know, he kind of pulled it and came back and hit him with a couple of shots, and then everybody ended up in the ring, you know. Yeah, it was a little bit of scene. That was probably, I mean, that was at least 20 years ago, I guess, maybe a little bit longer than that, you know, but it was somewhere around there. Yeah.
About 2003, maybe 2002, 2003. My cousin, who was on the De La Hoya show, the one I didn't make it to.
The contender, great next champ or something.
Great champ or something. Well, I got in a little bit of trouble, so he had to take his uncle on the other side. But when the thing was over and we was doing his first fight in the city at Municipal Auditorium, you know, bringing that heat over there to that. So we packed the house. It wasn't on the tube or nothing, but I didn't work it because I was still in my situation. But Percy Pugh and my uncle was in this corner, right? And they brought in a 500 kid from Alabama or something, Arkansas, or whatever. Just a showcase. He main evented the thing, but first round, ding, he ran over there. He hit the kid in the stomach, man, and the kid backed up, spit his mouthpiece out, and it looked like fucking it looked like Exorcist, bro. Like throw up the whole fucking ring, bro. Like it looked like a fire extinguisher, bro. And Jimmy just backed up like, what the fuck? And so the fight was over, of course, right? It ended up in a TKO. The dude couldn't continue. At the end, he got on the mic. He was like, I apologize. I was down on Canal Street eating, etouffee or whatever. And the shit didn't eat. Yeah. And he threw up in front of everybody and ended the fight like that with a stoppage. That was the only time I experienced that ever.
We were down. This was probably 15. Top Rank was doing a show down in McAllen back in the days, and they had a kid on there, Ernie Gonzalez, real heavy-handed kid. He was a top amateur, and he was one of Top Rank's A-siders. And he was fighting one of these tough opponents, you know, like one of these 15-10 guys, you know, from down there in the valley. And same thing, he was just whacking on his body, man. And at some point, the fighter turned around, got by the ropes, and turned around and just happened to. You remember the judge, Gail Van Oy, was here in Texas. Anyway, he turned to the ropes and he threw up, man, and it went all over the judge that was right there, man. I mean, he nailed him, bro. And the whole fucking arena just like, I mean, he got him good, you know, because he turned to the ropes and just fucking turned sideways and did the same thing, man. He threw up. He caught the judge, caught the majority of it, man. Yeah, so it'll definitely happen.
He drew 3,000 people to this main event, and that bitch didn't even get started. He threw up, and it was over.
Yep. That was a wrap. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's nasty. Yeah. Have you seen anything crazy, Lyncho?
There were some weigh-ins. Aaron and I were working a fight. It was a club show, and we were at the weigh-ins on the north side of Houston, and there was a heavy-set guy dressed like Michael Jackson, and he was dancing, doing the weigh-in.
That's right. For some reason, I don't know. It was funny because it was a club show. But they did the weigh-ins at a Mexican seafood restaurant.
Yeah.
It's called Michoacana. It's up there. But then for some reason at the weigh-ins, the promoters of that show, and I think they probably only did one show, and this will probably tell you why, they had a Michael Jackson impersonator as the entertainment at the weigh-ins for some reason. I never did really understand why. I actually got some of it on video. If I can find it, I'm going to shoot it. That was at least about 10 years ago. If I can find it, Derek, I'm going to send it to you, man.
I want to see shit.
Yeah, it just it wasn't even crazy. Just one of those things that you're like, man, where the fuck did that come from?
Where'd it come
There
from?
was no need
was
for
just
this shit. She was just there.
Yeah,
totally out of place, man, for everything that was going on. You know.
Yeah. Yep. And remember, Aaron, the guy we were working that corner in Galveston, and I picked him up and brought him to the fights. And his mom, I asked him if he had ate before the fight. He said yes. His mom and dad had took him some food.
Correct. Yeah, with Taco Cabana. Yeah.
And I'm holding the bucket. I'm holding the spit bucket. Aaron's up in the corner talking to him. He turns and I'm catching vomit right in the bucket. And I'm like,
yeah, that's right. We're at Moody. That was at Moody Garden. Yeah.
Moody Gardens, and the kids just throwing enchiladas, rice. You're looking at, and I'm like, ugh,
oh my God, did that happen?
Mom and dad. His mom and dad's pre-fight meal for him was Taco Cabana. That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't know people throw up that often. I've never thrown up like in sparring or a fight or anything.
You don't see it a lot, but it happens. You see it more in the back in the days when we used to go to amateur tournaments, because these kids are little kids and they'll go out. We've all been to a million amateur shows, and you guys know the shit that they have at these concession stands. It's chili dogs and chip. It's just a bunch of stuff that mostly kids eat. So a lot of times these little kids,
How about the guy who was throwing up the hot dogs?
Oh yeah, well that's what we called him, Hot Dog Reuben. Yeah, he threw almost a whole hot dog up, and I told him, hey fucker, you're supposed to chew it.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Remember Chris? It's like at least like a half a fucking hot dog that he threw up. I was like,
it was almost the whole
thing. Man.
Oh my!
Yeah, he just fucking. He must have been in one of those like Kobayashi contests or something, so where they just try to eat him as fast as they can. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was Chris. That was Big Reuben. Yeah, we started calling him Hot Dog after that. Remember? Yeah.
Damn, that's a real
nickname. That's how you get a nickname, right there. Yeah.
That's it. That's how you earn it. That's how you earn a nickname in boxing.
100%.
Have you guys so do you have I wanted to talk about like ring attire, walkout attire. Has a lot of boxers had you guys dress up?
Only you, Jeff.
Me. Only me?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Dang, I've seen.
Yeah.
I thought I've seen a lot of people dress up. So the guys that you guys have worked with hasn't really had you guys dress up at all?
Not too much. I mean, you'll get a crazy ring. Like when Highland fought, when we went up to Turning Show and we fought Gamboa on HBO, I had a platinum crocodile ring jacket with pink fur trim on it. But that's probably the craziest outfit I've had up until this point. I got a picture with it somewhere, with 50 Cent actually, believe it or not.
Quentin had that white furry shit and
put
that white furry shit on Aaron's corner jacket, and I said, yeah, leave the furry shit off of mine, bro. So I had the same colors, but I didn't have the fury. I didn't have the furry shit on there, man. But
I mean, listen, yeah, we'll wear whatever we gotta wear. Obviously, some we like better than others. Yeah, you know what? I do, and I put it up. Unfortunately, you remember when Hurricane Harvey happened? My house flooded, and I had about 2 feet of water in my house, and about probably 3 to 3.5 in my garage. And I had shirts, ring jackets, stuff from fights going back to the early 90s, and I lost a lot of that. Not everything, but a good amount of what I have put up there. But I still keep something, especially the track suits and shirt, ring jackets and things like that. Some of the t-shirts I don't keep too long because some of the shirts just don't hold up that long. some of these kids' shirts, you wear them a couple of times, it's a wrap, you know. So, but you know, I try to keep, you know, the majority, you know, something from every fight.
What about you, Hollywood? Has anybody had you dress up?
No, just you tried.
You didn't wear your GIF stuff,
No.
Hollywood? You didn't wear?
Yeah,
No.
I tried to get him. I tried to have everybody be a character. I think for that fight it was Toy Story, and he was like, "I'm not wearing that," so he just wore a big GIF shirt. But Aaron was Buzz Lightyear, and Bobby was Woody, and I was Jessie.
I wanted to see Aaron put that hat on, man. He wouldn't do it though.
Oh yeah, he didn't
But
put
listen,
the hat on.
but here's the thing with me, it worked out good because, you know, at the time, like my grandson's a big Buzz Lightyear fan, so when I had that Buzz Lightyear shirt, they thought I was the coolest, you know, they thought I was the coolest guy ever, you know.
Yeah,
it made like some cool memories too, like some cool pictures. So.
Oh, I thought it was fly at me. I seen what y'all was doing.
And I mean, it's only fair because, you know, since you are the splitting image of Jessie from Toy Story, I mean, you know, we couldn't. It's not like we could fight about it too much, you know.
That was actually your idea of the Toy Story, and then it was Hollywood's idea to do Rugrats. So when we went to California, I was Chucky, and
that's right.
Bobby was Tommy, and Aaron was the dinosaur.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And then Rachel wants me to do The Incredibles.
Yes.
So we'll do that at some
Hey, I want to say, hey, Aaron, is it a better guy to have in the corner than Lyncho, bro? That motherfucker be on it, don't he?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, and I've been meaning to pose on this for a while, but you know, you know how bad I am about pose. You know, I'm lucky if I post on some shit a year later, but you know, every guy that we got, you know, Hollywood, Bob, Lynch, Jack, you know, and we worked together for so long, and you know, you two, that you and I have worked together several times now. I think it's a very underrated thing, especially outside of boxing, guys, how important a good corner really is, man. And I can't ever stress, like, I mean, being a, you know, I do a lot of cut work, and obviously I like working with my guys, but you know, in the course of what I do, I work with a lot of different teams, a lot of different guys. And I've worked with some real boxing guys, real pros, guys that know what they're doing. And you'll know as soon as it happens. But I've also worked with some guys that have no fucking idea what they're doing, or guys that are crazy. I mean, just guys that are all over the place. And so I don't think you know, I think every guy that really does this understands. But outside of that, I don't know if people really understand how important and essential it is to the fighter and to the other guys working with, how when you got a good corner that knows how to work together and everybody knows what their role is in that corner, how to do it, and they just stab each other away and just get shit. That shit is just priceless, you know. And
you could lose,
and it really makes it, especially when you got guys in real fucking fights. You know, hey, listen, if we got some A-side kid that's in with a 1-in-22 guy that's been clipped 10 times, then hey, maybe I could probably have my grandsons work in the corner and we'd be good. But when you got guys in real fights, that shit it's a huge factor, man. It really is. And I don't think people realize that, but it truly is, man. And you know, we've all seen fights where, you know, hey, a corner has made or broke a fight for a guy, or had a huge impact on what happened in that fight, especially if a kid gets in trouble or has some rough moments, or, you know, is having a real fight. That shit makes all the difference in the world. And I'll say this, you know, and I'll say it anywhere, and I've said it before, I'll take my group of guys that I got, you know, good as anybody that's out there. And I mean that 100%. You know, I got a group of guys around me that I can have around me in the corner, as that's in boxing. You know, I believe I got one of the best group of boxing guys around me that you could possibly have.
Aaron, not to say no names like he was saying before, but it was a kid we was working. He was working with me, and it was our first fight really together. I knew the kid, but this was our first fight. And I had to take a fucking guy in the bathroom, bro, and explain it to him. What the fuck are you doing, man? And he got the fuck out of there. And we didn't see him till it was ring time, huh? And then and I was like, what's wrong with this fucking guy, man? Don't even know this is about the kid, man. What the fuck is going on, man? And it was just such a fucking and luckily it was me and Aaron, and we kind of nullified what the fuck was going on, and we won. But you know, when you have
guys that know what they're doing can get through it, but that kind of shit was so bad in so many ways. You know, there was so many ways, in my opinion, that was wrong. And it just shows you, you know, why some guys are never going to get past a certain level of where they're at.
Aaron, fast forward 3 months later, in Jay Prince down here in Houston, fucking guy walks up to me. I don't know him, Coach. Coach, what's up, man? What's up, dude? Man, I seen, man, you took that dude in the bathroom, and what the fuck was his problem? Whatever. And I'm thinking to myself right then, because I didn't recognize the guy talking to me, right? I said, that's how your reputation follow you, man. Like, it's people in there seeing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they
it was bad in a number of ways. Yeah, it was bad for the fighter. It was just bad in every way. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You're talking about that fat kid?
Yeah.
Is that the kid that was talking to you?
You so when you have a great corner, when you have great help, oh man, it's fucking night and day. It's fucking night and day, man. And
listen, it's few and far between. I've worked with a lot of really good guys, but there's way less guys that really know what the fuck they're doing than guys that don't, you know? And some guys just have a hard time keeping their emotion and their anxiety or their excitement out of the corner. You know, listen, we all have something that we deal with. We walk into a big arena, walk into a big fight, but if you can't learn how to channel that shit properly and focus on what you need to do, the fighter's going to pick up on it, and it's going to affect everything, you know, and you might not be built for this shit, you know. So
as a head trainer, cheerleading you may have to do a little cheerleading here and there, but it's supposed to be so low down on your fucking what you got to do list. You know what I'm saying? That if that's what you here doing, you know what I'm saying, hoping y'all win, man, you in the wrong spot, bro. Because you
correct.
Supposed to be prepared, man. We supposed to have directives and things we working on, man. So that's not the time for that shit, man. And I think Aaron mentioned it earlier about the ego shit, man. The ego shit, man, doesn't work, man, at this level, man. And because if I'm taking control of a situation or inside boxing, inside of a corner, right? It's not ego, bro. You're in the fucking way, man. I need you to shut the fuck up or get out the way or whatever the case may be, because this is serious business. This kid could get hurt. This kid, you know, not to mention, least of all, as us as trainers on this round table, it's our career too, though. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, if this kid lose, it affects us. You know what I'm saying? It affects what we're doing and how we trying to go. So it ain't ego when you take control of them situations. You got to, this motherfucker don't belong here, man, and you can cause us this fight, man. You a bad corner can lose a fight with a great kid. Think of would you say G-Man? G-Man's probably the best example of that, man, when he fought Ben in England and got hurt real bad and shit with that guy who didn't know what the fuck he was doing. But you steady chilling from the corner, and this kid's getting changed in here, and you don't recognize it. You don't see he can't hold his mouthpiece in his mouth. You can't see he's blanking and not giving you the right responses and shit, man. This and nobody likes to talk about this shit till it happens. Once it happens, then everybody's that corner.
Correct. Everybody's quick to jump on everybody's shit.
Right. Yeah. But trainers should be aware of that going in. Listen, man, I got to protect this kid at all costs. Once he's rendered helpless, I've got to be his defense. I can't let him get changed in there, man. And so often I don't think trainers even get to that thinking, let alone know to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just in there. cheerleading from the corner, man. Or some trainers. That's what I mean. Not to shit on all trainers, but yeah. Man, you gotta have good guys around you, man. You got
also, I think what's been happening, especially you've seen it a lot in the last 10, 15 years, but is that you got to have real guys in each role in that corner, regardless of what's going on. Like sometimes, especially, and I'm not saying this because I'm a cut man, but you see a lot of times that role gets filled in by a fucking homeboy or a relative or something like that because they got an extra ticket, got an extra spot, and maybe the kid's never been cut, or this guy hang around, yeah, you could do the cuts, and he buys the shit from the magazine or whatever. And then, the problem with that is that when you got a guy that really doesn't know what he's doing, and he's just kind of been in that role, you'll see this with some kids that are A-siders, because, a lot of these A-side guys, they're in the right fights on the way up. And maybe they have this guy there that's, like I said, kind of the homeboy, the coach, or, sidekick or something like that, but doesn't really have the qualifications to do that. And then they get to the point where they're in a real fight or something happens. And we've seen this, and I saw it not too long ago on a TV fight in the main event where the guy that was in that spot as supposed to be the cut man had no idea what he was doing. And it was very evident. Matter of fact, me and Stitch, when we were at Regis's fight, when Chris was there, we were talking about it in the dressing room, talking about that particular fight amongst others. But where if you know what you're looking at, all of us cut guys watched that and knew this kid has no fucking clue what he's doing. And when we start doing that, hey, I'm gonna take my homeboy with us, or take the kid, we got extra day. That's not the way this shit's supposed to work. It's a profession. You got a kid in a fight. It's a serious thing. It's a real thing. You need to have the right guys in that corner, give your kid the best shot. And, when we got guys filling in role, and I'm not saying this because I'm a cutter, I get my own work, so I'm not out there trying to get business. I just mean, there's a bunch of guys out there that really know what they're doing. Trainers, cut men, so on and so forth. If you're a real fighter, you need to have real guys in your corner. Hey, man, find the guy who knows what he's doing, give him what he wants, or give up that ticket, and your homeboy don't get to go on the trip. And take a real guy that knows what he's doing. And that way, if some shit happens, you got the right guys there that can handle it and not only give your kid the best shot to win the fight, but make sure that he's okay. In this particular fight I'm talking about, the kid ended up getting fucked up pretty good, and he ended up having some problems afterwards. As a main event fight, and he was in a real fight. And, hey, listen, if I'm a race car driver, I'm not going to have, my fucking uncle from down the street as my mechanic. You get a guy that's a real, because he knows how to work on cars a little bit. You can't. Yeah, you get that, and you say, hey, listen, there's a number of good guys out there that can fill each job. There's good strength guys. There's good cut men. There's good training. You find you a real one that you get along with, work something out, and make sure you got the right guys in the corner when this kid's fighting, because you also have you got a professional and a moral responsibility to do that. Some kid gets fucked up in the corner. And because you had a couple of the homies with you, that's on you, man. That's really on you, because you didn't have the right guys there to take care of that kid. You have a professional responsibility, but you also have a responsibility as a man to do the right thing and get the right guys in there.
Ain't nothing worse than finding a guy's bullshit when it's time to do the shit that he's bullshitting about.
And listen, that's when it's going to happen. That's when it's going to happen. When the bullets start flying is when you find out who the real gangsters are, right? And who's hiding under the fucking car and shit. Yeah, and shit like that, Yeah, when you're sitting in the room, man, and they're asking them questions, you find out who the weak ones are, right?
You got a whole,
guys start
opening their mouth in your hand, man, and you didn't shoot
that's
once.
It. So that's it. So, buying all that shit out of the ringside or the title book, all this, coming in looking like Batman with all that shit on, don't make you a fucking cut man. Majority of these guys haven't ever worked on a fucking cut or anything else. And then, so when shit gets real, they're, not only they know what they do, most of them fucking freak out, instead of just handling business,
Friends, me and Aaron might be in a group talking, powwowing at a fight or something. And he'll look at me, I'll look at him, and that's it. Yeah, this dude's bullshit. This dude's fucking
because listen, they come with that fucking,
It tells
Here
on.
they come with that bullshit.
Yeah, we've seen it a million fucking times, man. They'll let you know, like you could just really, to be honest with you, Chris, you know this. We can get in dressing room. We can watch how guys just start getting their shit ready and doing shit like that, and you know pretty quick. You'll see the real guys, and even though we don't all do it the same, but you'll see how the real guys get in there and just start setting up their corner and how they start operating and how the bullshit guys do, and you can tell
100%.
pretty fast, man. Yeah. Yeah, you'll know. And listen, not that being said too, there's a reason why some guys, even that have been around a long time, stay at a certain level indefinitely. And we all know too, just time in is not good enough.
You got the concept.
You say you kind of motherfucker. You say I've been working here 20 years. You started on fries. You still on fries, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Yeah. So fuck it. Just being there for 20 years there has to be some steady progression in your game. If you started on fries and 20 years later you still on fries, you just been working here for 20 years, son.
Use a fry cook, motherfucker. That's what you do.
That's it, man. That's it.
I've used that line in the corporate world. Climbing up in management, I was always the younger guy, and they would send me into places to fix things up. And I'd always get that one guy, man, I've been doing this for fucking 30 years. I said, yeah, you're right. And that's why they fucking sending me in, because you've been doing it wrong.
That's it. Like, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's how we've heard that line to me, man. I got 25 years in. I know, motherfucker, but doing what?
Doing what?
Yeah, doing what, man? And listen, if we're not, steady progressing, like I said earlier, look, 25 years ago when I started, as much as I've done, I still got more to do, more to lose. I'm never happy. I'm happily unhappy, if that makes sense. I'm good, like I'm glad what we've done, but I want to do more and I want to constantly get better. I'm not content. But if you're just the kind of guy that wants to talk about how much time he's had in, but what's what have you done while you're here? Some people just treading water, just happy to be there, and that's okay. But for us, rest of us guys, hey, it's not,
You said it best when you said it earlier. We're a result-based gym or team.
Correct.
Yeah, I like that.
Results. That's the only thing that matters. Results.
That's it. That's it.
What you know. Fuck what you know, because even if you know something, how you gonna translate that into results? You can sit on knowledge all you want, but if it's not
knowing ain't doing right.
Knowing ain't doing. And so, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes.
Yeah, and for us, and everybody that's on here, and I know I speak for Bob, Jack, and the rest of the guys. That's all when we go anything, we're looking at at getting the win for the kid. That's it, 100%. Everything that everybody does, we've sidestepped what we want, what we give, whatever. Hey, let's get the kid gets the win, and then we're good. But then, like I said, we're going to be right back the next day or as soon as we can and be right back in the gym and get on it, Hey, and that's the way that it's supposed, if you're really doing shit. But listen, everybody wants different things out of it, but that's definitely the way that we do it, And we've had some solid results. The way I judge guys, like when people ask me, hey Aaron, who's a good trainer, who's a good this and that, I say, look, you want to look at what they've done and then the time in and the consistency of the program. When you see guys that have say for 10, 15, 20 plus years consistently putting out good guys over and over again, those guys know something, man. We don't all do shit. Everybody's got different systems, different philosophies on things. But if a guy's been doing something for a long amount of time and consistently has good results over and over again, those guys got a good program, man. And that's how I judge guys on and what I think what kind of trainer I see or boxing guy I see a guy as,
Guys,
you got to quiet that. You got to quiet that ego as a trainer too. But Aaron, shit. When we together and we talk shop. It ain't no ego. Hell, if you know something that'll improve me, I want to know. If you have something, vice versa. So me and Lynch talk a lot, man, and we talk boxing and tactics and all that type of shit. And Bobby, same thing. Yeah, man. So that's what I'm saying. When the guys are in there and they talking shop and doing the jobs and doing the work and actually having to fight, and you can see who's who, what's what, and then when you get together, it's a different conversation. Now I'm not trying to fit in. We're talking trade. We're talking about the trade now. This is what I did. This is how I seen it. Man, I wish I'd have did it like this. I wish I'd have did it like that, man. We should have did it this way. So the ego has to be checked at all doors, huh? Would you say?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it does. And look, as men, and for one, in the job that we're in, you have to have some ego but it's a different type of ego. In other words, it's that ego where you walk to the ring and say, hey, I know my guy's good. I know what I'm doing. You know, if you don't have some of that, then you can't pull off your job.
Confidence. Yeah,
but yeah, as far as all the dick swing, of course, it won't work. Like we don't have to mention name, but I know a number of trainers that I would say are knowledgeable trainers. They know what they're doing. But if you watch these guys at gyms, they're all so busy motherfucking each other and cutting each other's legs out and trying to do this and trying to hustle guy fight that they never get anywhere. Even though I might tell you, no, he knows. Like if you watch him, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's looking at. But this is one of the reasons why they never really get anything going, is because they always have that kind of bullshitting going on. You know, I don't know who the best trainer in the boxing, because I'll bring that conversation up real quick, because that conversation comes up sometimes. I said, listen, all of that shit is kind of relative. I know a bunch of great trainers, man, but how would you? It's just like asking, if you ask fucking 25 guys, hey man, who's the most beautiful women in the world? We're probably all going to have a different answer, and probably all 25 of those women are gorgeous, right? But a lot of that is relative to what we like in something. So how would we really say who's the best trainer? You know, I always tell guys the best trainer is the one that you get the most out of and that you connect with the most and you have result with, and that's a great trainer. But there's a lot of really good ones out there. But how would you even, that when guys bring that shit up, or if they say I'm the best trainer, you know that guy's full of shit right off, because there's no real way to determine that anyways. You know, I can tell you, like, we got a great group of trainers here at our gym, but I don't have to tell you, because we have proven results. You guys do. I can name off 20, 30 guys. I say, hey, these guys are all really good trainers. But how would you determine who is the best? That's just a bunch of bullshit. So when guys when I've heard trainers, you know, in gyms that I've been at, oh, nah, you know, I'm better than here. When you hear that guy, that's an immediate sign to get the fuck out of there, man.
Yep.
You know, it's like that first date and that chick starts talking about her ex. You're like, all right, man, let me get the check and keep it pushing, right? If you just sat down for your first date and all she's doing is talking about her ex and all that, that's, any of us got sense, say, okay, hey, man, shit, this is our first and our last one, homegirl, right? Like, and, you know, when I hear trainers start talking that kind of talk, or when they're bad mouthing other trainers and shit like that, you already know, you know, what time it is. Hey, man, and this is why their program is probably not going to ever get past a certain point of success. That has a big part to do with it. You know, some of these guys, you run into them, they've never had a good thing to say about anybody in their life, you know?
One of the kids at the gym the other day said, Coach, I can't remember who it was, but he was like, man, that kid don't fight like how you believe, you know, your fundamentals and this, that, and the third. And he won. He's win. I said, yeah, man. I said, he's fighting small, but if you're going to fight small, that's how you do it. That's the best way to do it, right? So I'm going, you got to understand that shit about this shit, man. There is no, you know, on any given, and that's why I use this metaphor, Aaron. I believe specific fighters on specific days or specific performances are the best in the world, right? That given day, he's the best motherfucker. You'd have put him in there with anybody, he would have whooped your ass. And it's the same. But tomorrow is a new day. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow is a new fucking crop of guys, a new champion, a new everything. And to me, that's why boxing is so competitive, bro. That's why it's against the world. That's why it's rare air. Listen, I got a kid with a minor title world ranked in the world right now by the WBC. You got a kid with a minor title that's world ranked by the WBC at 30. You got a kid that's fighting for the WBC title, the real title, in a couple weeks. You got a kid who just came back to the title, WBC titles. It's no accident, bro. It's no accident we fucking got these kids ranked and everybody's ginning and fight because it's everybody's doing their job, man. And I started this conversation by saying, A, we competing against the whole world, and then B, I was talking about Lynch, talking about how good he is in the corner and shit, because all those things are working parts. You can't, my ego ain't such that, I had these guys in the corner with me, but we did all the work. No, man, that ain't how that shit works at all, bro. It's really, and nobody could tell you this faster than a fighter who left a situation like that and he's in a worse situation, because now he knows, oh shit, man, look what I was doing over here. Look how these guys worked. Look how there was no second guessing nothing. You know what I'm saying? They was on me. They wanted me to benefit. They wanted me to win. They wanted to be successful. If I'm successful, they successful. Then they go somewhere with one of those ego-driven guys, like you said, that are good trainer, that is a great trainer, has a champion, done champions or whatever. And now they like, oh, I'm fucking miserable over here. I hate going to work. Now they really only in the gym when they have something going, bro. That's the only time
you'll never get the most out of your guy if you're not, listen, the way that it's just like, sometimes, we work with a number of managers and things like that. And there's times that they'll call me and Bobby, hey, we want to send you this kid. And we'll tell them, look, let's do it like this. Send him down for a week. Let us work with the kid. We said at the end of the week, he's going to call you. We're going to call you. We're all going to know whether it's going to be great or not. I've even had times when they've sent me some solid kids where I say, this kid's good. But I'll call his manager. I say, hey, I don't know if he'll be the right fit here. He might be that's taking money out of my pocket. But I know, listen, the only way for that kid to get the most out of himself, he's got to be with a guy that he's connecting with, or he gets the most with. That's how you're going to get the most out of athlete. And now that's how you're going to get the most out of the trainer. And if sometimes it's not even that we have a problem with guys, we just feel like he's not feeling it here. Like maybe he's a better fit somewhere else. Sometimes they send us guys and we're like, man, they love it. At the end of the week, we call them. Yeah, we love, hey man, let's get the kid down here. Let's get to work. Right. When that goes back to the old thing too, where we don't think, hey, we aren't the perfect trainers for every guy. We are for some guys because, work speaks for itself. But, that being said too, like you were talking about, I've been to like probably most of you guys, I've been to Crumb. I've been to Freddy's. I've been to Virgil's. I've been to old La Colonia, Robert's dad's gym on the other side of the tracks. I've been to, Floyd, all Nacho's, and a lot of other great gyms. All these guys aren't doing everything the same, but they have one thing bad, like what me and Manny agree on. They got results, man. They got results over a long period of time. And, those guys got something figured out. So, you got to find, fighters have to we always say, find the right fit for you. But once you find the right fit for you, then fucking stay there. And that's the only way you're going to get the most out of the program. Because we've also seen this with a lot of fighters, and I can name somebody there, and they're really good fighters, but they never, like, there were 2 years with Freddie and a year with Robert and a year with Joe Goosen and 2 years with this guy, that. And man, all those guys are fucking Hall of Fame trainers. All of them are great trainers. But until the opposite is that when you see like Manny and Freddie, they met up, they connected. Manny stayed there long enough to where he really got the benefits of that system. And he was also a 1 in a billion fighter. So Freddie was able to get the most out of his fighter, and the fighter was able to get the most out of Freddie. And you got a fucking legacy level fucking fighter there. But, even if I go to Harvard for 1 year, and then I go to Yale for a year, and then I go to Berkeley for a year, and I go, you never really get with that program. You just kind of getting started, getting under a fucking, exactly. You just listen, nobody's system, like we have a system here, Joe Goosen's got a system. Robert and them got a system. Fucking Nacho's got a system. It's now Sugar Hill, but Manuel had a system. Everybody's got like Dan Birmingham. Them got great system. Like guys that got good systems. But you're still not going to get in there a year. You think like say a guy like Joe, you know, he just got put in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's been in boxing for fucking a million years. He's a lifelong boxing guy, right? Been training guys, world champion. Uh, you think that you're going to get everything that he's learned in 30, 40 years in a fucking year? There's no fucking way. You know, as a matter of fact, when you know, say me and you go out to train with Joe for a year, in that year, we're barely going to be starting to get into, you know, his whole philosophy and his system of everything, how he does everything, right? So you can't take any of these guys that got 25, 30, 40 plus years in the game and you're going to get everything out of them in a year. It's impossible, man. It's impossible, you know? You know, so you know, they got it.
The sport, thinking you can
yeah, so
that.
Guys, once they find a place and a system that works for them, then you got to be willing to stay there and get the most out of that guy, you know?
100%.
So, you know, that's the flip side to that, you know, as these fighters, when they start to jump around, you never see those guys reach their full potential. And I can think of a couple of guys I know that are really good fighters, but they did that. And in my mind, they never really achieved their full potential because they would hop around from good trainer to good trainer, you know, year after year, you know, and I don't think they ever really saw their full potential as good as they did. I think they still could have done much better, you know.
Looking for the secret. The secret is work.
It's funny that you say that, because I'll say this real quick, because I've, you know, over the years I've taken, you know, because we got good friends stuff over there at the Wild Card, and we know Fred for a long time and a lot of the guys. So a lot of times when I take kids their first trip, say we're fighting in LA or we're going out there just for whatever we're doing. And, you know, most of the kids, hey, coach, can you take me to Wild Card? And I'll say, yeah, man, I'll call guys over there. And so we can go over there and take a look at it. Right. And without a doubt, man, almost every kid that I've ever taken over there, that first time we get up into the gym, you know, and they're looking around and you could see them looking like, you know, that you could see when we walk up those stairs. You've been in a Wild Card, you know, you go in the back, you walk up the stairs. I take them up in a Wild Card gym. You can see them kind of looking around. And at some point, I say, you're looking for that magic room, right? That one where Freddie takes you in there in the back, because they're like, this looks just like our fucking gym. Exactly, bro. So fucking, you know, they're looking for that room where Freddie takes you in and touches you on the shoulder and you become the, you know, the next whoever. I said, son, you're fucking looking at it right here, man. Same shit that we got. They see guys over there working on the jab, guys out there. There ain't no fucking magic secrets in none of these fucking gyms. You got guys know what they're doing and know how to get stuff out of guys, but you know, when they're looking for that place, like you said, that they just come into, and then all of a sudden they're this, you know, great fighter. That's not the way it fucking works, man.
And if your trainer's telling you he got the secret, leave that motherfucker, because
another sign that he's definitely full of shit. Yeah, bullshit, just like I can make you a millionaire in a fucking month, right? So yeah, listen, one thing we all know here is you can't have the result without the process.
No,
that's what's wrong with these fucking kids these days, in the most part. Not all of them, but a good amount. They want to have the result without the process. They see all this cars, club, whatever athlete they want, and they just want that. They don't want, what about all that shit that guy did up to, you know, through those years to get it, and what he gave up. So
energy,
you know,
it's just energy. I just need to stand next to you.
See it and believe it.
And it'll jump in.
Yeah, talk to any of these rich guys and see how long it really took them before they got that fucking what they got right now. You know, it didn't happen. They read something today and they were like that tomorrow. And it's the same thing with our game. And so, you know, you see a lot of these guys want the result without the process, and that's never going to be the case, man.
Not never.
You know, we'll have guys tell us all the time, oh man, you guys are lucky you get to go to all these fights and this and that. I was like, hey, you think that's what it is? After 25 years? I think sleeping on the fucking floor and everything else, right?
To speak on what you're saying, the whole process. I mean, that's where the magic happens, right? Like that's where you really find out who you are, what you're made of. Because during training and camp, like you're pushing yourself, you're doing the sparring, you're pushing your body to every limit that it can possibly can. So when it's fight night is just you're showcasing what you've already done. The fight night,
that's it.
Is leaving it all there. It's saying this is how far my work got me, I know what I put in. I know, and you can't fake it. You can't fake it. If I was in a room with 500 people and I said, I want everyone who works out 5 days a week to stand up. Everyone who stands up, I'm going to be able to tell who's lying and who's not. You're not going to sit here and look like you look and tell me you're in the gym 5 days a week working out, 2 hours a day. It's the same thing with boxing and training. You got a lot of kids that'll get into the gym and they'll do it for Instagram, for the glory. They want to come in, take snapshots and take pictures and take videos. Hey, look, I'm a boxer. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Go ahead, Eric.
My coach Walt. My coach Walt used to say it like this, man. And he was 90 when he passed a couple years ago. And like I said, I think he had his first fight in 49. Started training guys in 65. Derek knows where he came from. St. Mary's Italian boxing gym over there, in New Orleans back in the day. So he used to say it like this, and he was 100% correct, like he was about most things. He said some guys like the idea of being a fighter more than really being a fighter. Mm-hmm. So and you see a lot of that these days. The guys like you said, putting it for the gram or telling people the attention they get when they tell people they're fired, this and that. But also, that being said, and this goes for trainers as well, but it goes for fighters and for trainers, in my opinion. Like we were talking about the result, you have to learn how to love that process. Yeah. More than the result itself. Once you learn how to love the process itself more than the actual result, you got it fucking made. Mm-hmm. So, in other words, just like I was saying, we win world title fight, we're back in the gym the next day or as soon as we can get back in. That means you love the process. Mm-hmm. You're not just trying to show up on fight night and get that Saturday night, or the week of the fight, camera action and all that bullshit. Yeah. You actually love the process itself. And for a fighter, when he learns how to love the whole process of everything more than the actual fight night itself, then that guy's got it figured out, man.
There's no determining, I don't think, exactly the spot, but would y'all agree that it takes a certain level of accomplishment, and it could be at the amateur level or wherever. It doesn't mean where it's at, but at certain level, particular fighters learn, the work is why I'm able to do it. So they realize if I didn't work as hard as I did when I beat such and such, I might lose. So I got to work harder for. So my thing is, and that's why I always say, work ain't no radio station. WORK. You got to go, bro. You got to go, because you're gonna find it in yourself. You're gonna say, how many rounds did I spar this camp? How many of this that I did, and boy, I shine like new money. Or, I had a close call, man. I better fucking be better. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a certain, even for a fighter to get there. So when fighters think, they're gonna go train with a guy for a year and they're gonna get the secret recipe and shit, they don't even make it nowhere near the level it takes to even start understanding that your confidence is coming from the work. You do the work. You're in the training. You live in the lifestyle. You're eating right. You're training. You're doing everything. So that's why you're able to compete like you are. Yeah. So it takes. I think you get them guys who when they find that. Oh, it's on now. Now you got guys that can fight. You got the Prouts. You got the guys who could face losses or obstacles, and they know I get back in the gym. I could change this shit because it just takes the work. That's all.
Well, gentlemen, we can keep talking for the rest of the year.
Oh shit, we've been going, bro.
2 years.
Whoa. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up, huh, D?
Yeah. I appreciate y'all, fellas.
Well, thank you.
Hey, man, likewise, man. It's good talking to you guys. And you're right, man. You get a bunch of boxing guys together talking, that shit can go for fucking days, So, no, hey, I really appreciate you. I appreciate you guys having us on, man. And, hey, Happy New Year to you guys. And I'll see you guys back in the gym, man.
Thank you for having me on there, guys. Thank you guys for having me on there.
Yep. Talk to you guys soon, man.
All right.